All right, so we are going to go over our final project rubric. This will be available online today, so if you guys want to take a look at it, you can. I'm going to go through it. I'm going to show you the grade, how I'm actually going to grade your final, and then that'll be it. You guys can start working on it. I'll answer any questions, and then, like I said, I'll post this online. So if you guys ask me a question that I answered in this video, I will just send you to this video and you can watch it. So, final project rubric. This class's final is to create a game using Python Pygame. You may use the code we created in class, the Bunny versus Badgers game, as a template to help you build your own. You cannot use an online tutorial to create a game. Do not go on YouTube, follow this person, this is how you build this type of game, copy that and turn that in. That has happened. Like 95% of the code was from this tutorial. The 5% that he wrote was commented out because it didn't work. So please don't do that. Yes. Actually, let me get through everything, and then you can use tutorials for sections. So if you're like, I don't know how to do gravity, well, here's a tutorial on Pygame on how to do gravity in your game. Because what they're going to do is they're not going to be writing the game exactly as you are. You will have to take what they say, edit it, and make it work with your code. So that's fine. You can use any code that we've written in class for our Badgers game, no problemo. You can copy and paste it, use whatever you want from there for your game. 100%, I don't care. So if you want to use the WASD buttons to move your character, you can copy and paste those lines of code into your project. You are also allowed to look online for any modules or bits of code that will enhance your game. So anything you do, anything you find online, please just cite it. So that one, if it's something really cool, I will show it to future classes. And two, if you forget or need to go back to that, and for whatever reason your internet is, or that you can't find that website anymore, you have it documented somewhere that, hey, this was the website, let me copy and paste that, as opposed to the 4 hours I spent Googling until I found the exact thing that helped. So it'll help both of us. But for an example, let's say you want to hide the mouse cursor when it's in the display screen for your game. You may Google how to do this in Python Pygame, but you must comment out the link where you found that code in the line that you use it. If you don't, you will lose points. So this is the example. If you set pygame.mouse.set_visible to false, your cursor is invisible when it's in the display window. So this is helpful if you were doing like first-person shooter type thing, or your
first-person shooter. Isn't that 3D though?
Nope. Well, close one eye, and now everything you see is 2D. So it's just 2D shapes growing and changing and everything.
We
yes, it
never
is.
How to do that, though.
I know, that's
something that resembles 3 dimensions, like there's width, height, and depth.
Not when you close your eye.
How does it go from 2D to 3D?
But like we don't draw cubes or even fake cubes.
In order to get 3D, you focus and you can see different modes of it. Whereas if you close your eye, everything you see can be drawn in 2 dimensions. Right? When you watch a movie, how many movies are in how many dimensions is a movie screen? 2. Length and width. So everything on a movie screen, that's 3D represented as a 2D image.
But none of us have like even drawn like trapezoids.
No, so if you want to take that on, you can. I had a student do a first-person shooter one year.
How do you?
It was like a training target game.
From like YouTube or something?
I don't know. He just figured it out. He's one of those kids that like, I want to do this. I'm going to do everything I can to figure it out. And 78 hours later, he's like, I figured it out.
70.
I don't know. I made up a number. I don't know. Anyway.
I don't have time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yes, you do.
So, and then what you do in that line, or if you want to do it in the line underneath, I don't care. You just need to give me the website that you used. Right? I don't care that you use the internet. I just want to know where you're using it from, because I don't want you to write sneakily 70% of your code from places online and you only wrote 30%, and I can't tell the difference because you didn't cite it. I mean, I'll be able to tell the difference because, hey, we haven't learned any of this. Luke, what have you been doing? This is like 3 classes worth of stuff. What are you doing? what does this line do? So I'll be able to tell. So, but again, I don't care if you use the internet. Let me get through everything. If you have questions, I will answer general questions. I won't do specific ones like how do I do this? Well, anything you could think of, well, not anything, but like whatever. So if you guys are confused as like how do I do this? Well, how do I do gravity in a game? Well, I'll give you big steps like well, you need some sort of gravity. So you need your character always falling down no matter what. And then you can either do like a jetpack version of gravity. So every time you hold the space bar, you go up, and when you let go of the space bar, you go down. Or you could do one where if you hit the space bar, you teleport up and then fall. Or you could do one that like is in Super Mario where it jumps, where you have an arc. That one's hardest, and you would have to find either like I would just Google that and adapt it to your code. If you want to have the enemies follow your position, right, as opposed to going left or right, they're chasing you. You could look that up online. I found that once, and it's 2 lines of code, but I don't know if I can find that. But it was 2 lines of code, and it got your characters it got the bad guys chasing your character no matter where it was on screen. It's pretty scary for a zombie game. Let me get through everything. But I'll also explain any error messages. But if I don't know what the error message means, Google it. That'll help. You can ignore this because that was last year's or 2 years ago. You are allowed to work at this at home. You guys have the equivalent of 9.75 hours in class to work on this. So you have nearly 10 hours of in-class time to work solely on your final.
Dang.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. So, and if you only ever worked on your final in class, I believe you guys know enough, and there's enough videos in class that you can take from my videos and directly implement it to your game and get an A. So I'm not worried. Like, you guys will have plenty of time, and there's enough online resources that you can do to make sure that you're okay. These are some gameplay concepts. I will answer all questions at the end. These are some gameplay concepts, multiplayer, power-ups. If you have 3 power-ups, that is not 3 different gameplay elements. That's 1. Bosses, different types of guns, ammo, attacks, changing backgrounds. So that's more of like a level, not just after 10 seconds your background changes. After 30 seconds your background changes, because that's if timer is greater than this so not that. But it's like different levels. So like level 1 is this, and there's a distinct difference between level 1 and level 2 in either enemies or layout, or in level 1 you can go anywhere, but in level 2 30% of the screen is taken up by walls, so you have to run around stuff or whatever, that sort of thing. A different meter, so you can have action meters, health, breath, mana, magic, different meters that keep track of different sorts of things. I had one student who had health and breath. It was a game where you had to hold your breath underwater, but if you got hit by a shark, you lost breath and health, but the entire time you were underwater, you were losing breath. So that would count. Changing the main character from a person to a car and having different controls was another one that a student did once. Well, they just had the car portion, and the car physics were really, really nice, but there was absolutely no objective to the game. There was no background or anything. So, like, from a coding aspect, he did well, but from anything else, he didn't do that well. A pause menu. So if in the game I hit P, the game pauses, and I could, pause and just, you could have options there. That would also probably count as another thing. Settings. So if you have volume, music, difficulty, pick your character, that sort of thing. I've had students where you could pick from The Rock or just a soldier. So everyone always picked The Rock, and it changed how the game was played.
Like the rock,
Like Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
I was talking about like a rock.
Not an actual rock. But if there's something on here that you want to do, this is not an exclusive list. You can do anything you can think of. These are just some ideas to get you going.
I don't know if I'm gonna have enough time to put it in.
Well, a simple game well done is better than a complicated game that doesn't work.
Can you give an example of like a simple one that got a 100?
I'd have to pull it up. I'd have to find it and then change some edits to it. But while you guys are working, I'll see if I can do that.
That would be great.
Um,
Oh yeah, how do you
so,
do the thing?
no, I said I'm not answering questions to the end. You sneaked one in. You sneaked one in. That's it.
This is the end. This is the thing right here. This is the rubric.
So this is how you grade. If your game is unplayable due to errors, you get it. Obviously, you get no credit. And then depending on, if I can't break it even when I try, you're pretty good. But again, if I can only interact with what you tell the player, it's really hard for me to I could obviously go and break your code by typing in, break in the middle of your game loop, but I won't do that. But if I go off screen and the game breaks, well, you need to code for that. You need either prevent me from going off screen or prevent it from happening. Gameplay mechanics. So this is what you need. These are the 3 gameplay mechanics to get full credit. Game complexity. You need to have your game needs to have me do something. There's very, very few games where it's just like whatevs. Like you have objectives, you have goals, you need to do stuff. You need to tell me that. You also need to tell me how to play your game. If you just send me playing your game and there's no use these controls, shoot badgers, protect your bunnies, survive 90 seconds, blah, blah, blah. If you don't tell me any of that and I don't know how to play your game, you'll lose points. If I have to look into your code to figure out what buttons do I have to hit to move, you will lose points. All at the end. Coding concept. You got to put something in here we haven't learned in class, whether it be try and accept or the string manipulations. Like, are they entered for their name? Are they entering in just letters? That sort of stuff. Just something we haven't learned in class. I'm pretty generous on that. So if it's just something, it could be even from the book. So if we haven't learned it in class, but it's from the book, that counts as well. It does not have to be from the internet. Originality. If you change the look of the game and add gameplay elements, but don't change the fundamental nature of the game, and the fundamental nature of the game is bad guys are attacking from the right side of the screen, you are the protector of something, and you shoot something at the enemies, no. And for example, there was a girl who did, you were the Jonas Brothers bodyguard, shooting money at paparazzis, protecting the 3 Jonas Brothers.
Is that different?
Well, it was the 3 Jonas Brothers on the left side. On the left side, you were the bodyguard running around, shooting money at paparazzi. When the money hit the paparazzi, they disappeared. But they had power-ups, something else, and something else. So they had the elements, but the originality of the game wasn't there. So I just need you to change the game. It could be, your character stays in the same place and jumps up and dodges things coming, like the Internet is Out Google Chrome game. That's fine. Even though it's very similar in side-scroller things going on, but you've changed the originality. You're doing something. You're not just taking the base of the game and making it a little different. So I want you guys to change the core of the game, I guess. Look of the game, do not worry about that. That is going to be with the art department. If, for whatever reason, it falls through, I will provide the artwork. I will either buy it and allow you guys to use it because I have money, or I will find everything and I'll do a bunch of stuff. Because while you guys are working, that's what I'll be doing. Unless I can buy all the game art. Because if I can just do that, I might. Presentation. Presentation is the day of the final, which is the 16th of December, 15th of December. 1, 2, 3, yeah, 15th of December. You guys will present your code. And I'm not an English teacher, and I'm not going to count how many times you say or if you're nervous, you just sit down. It might even be a Zoom call. You just share your screen, show your code, and that's it, because we're going to have virtual people. And I think that might be easiest than trying to get the camera or whatever. But all you do is you're just and I will give you an example of what I would like for. So this is my code. This is my game. When you play it and then you show us your game in action, and you're like, one thing I'm really proud of is just, this right here gets the timer on screen. I was just really proud of figuring out how to do that because there's some weird math over here that was a little annoying. But yeah, that's about it. That's my game. you all as the audience will then ask questions. If you don't ask questions, guess who will?
You.
I will. And my questions, I guarantee you, will be harder than yours. So an example of my question would be, there's a few ways I noticed you can change the spawn rate of your bad guys. Give me 2 of them. And you'll be like, and if this is an example of someone who will get a low grade on just their presentation. No, it's not down there. What is it? Is it up here? No, no. That's someone who would get a low grade because they don't know their code. An example of someone who's on the spot would be like, oh, you can change this right here to 5, and that will increase it by 5. So the spawn rate will increase by 5. You could do it there. Also, I remember there's a place down here, bad time. Oh, here you go. If you increased this number to like, you can't do it higher than 50, but if you said it's like 45, that'd be real fast. Or you could also, you could probably change that. All right, so there's 3 places you can change the code in order for it to whatevs. So that's what I mean of someone who knows their code versus someone who doesn't. I want to know that you wrote most of this and know what it's doing. That's what the presentation is for. Plus, and then if we all finished, you guys can like play each other's games or whatever. If we finish before time is out. And then lastly, the grading rubric, citing work. If you cite work, if you have work and I know you didn't cite it, you will lose points.
Is it the best thing to just not copy any work at all?
Nope. It's probably no.
Is it okay? I have no idea how to cite stuff.
Yes, you do.
You copy the URL code.
You copy the URL code
Oh, that's it.
and paste it as a comment. That's why you should listen when I'm talking and not be on your computer. Because I literally went over that.
I think like a couple weeks ago.
No, right here.
Right. Actually, I was.
My computer crashed. Oh, no, it didn't. All right, Zoomers, can you hear me? It froze. Okay. Just now, 5 minutes ago, anything you paste, anything you use, you just need to put the URL after it. And I even said it saves you the headache of trying to find the obscure web page that you used last week. And it also allows me to teach new students new things that I think are really cool.
Nice.
So, and I remember staring at the glare when I said that. So, and you can also check the video. So I did say it today. All right. But yeah, so please cite it. Cite it. It's the easiest thing. Just copy and paste. If you use the same code in multiple points, that's okay. Just I would prefer if every time you paste or find something online, you just throw that URL. Not too many because I don't want whatever. If you have questions, let me know. Like on your code, like do I have to cite this or whatever? Just please ask me. I'd rather that than have to do a general statement or blanket statement that people take, whatever. But please ask me questions if you have any sort of concern. Cole.
We have to cite where we got if we got something from like our game that we made in class.
The game in class, no, because I'm very familiar with what that code looks like. So if you're taking code from the game we made, you do not have to cite it. But if you do take code from the book, just put like chapter 6.
And if we change the code from the game that we had in class.
I don't care. Yeah. So if you instead of WASD, you want the arrow keys over here, you can do that without citing it. Yes.
Would gravity be considered one gameplay element? Or would that just be part of the game, so it wouldn't be considered one at all?
It depends, because if it's just
I was gonna do the arc one.
jumping is a gameplay element. Yeah.
Okay.
Because just imagine Super Mario Brothers without jump. How different of a game it would be.
That would be weird.
Right? Exactly. So it is a game. I count that as a gameplay element, Cole.
So the way that you, like the best way for us to determine if it's a gameplay element say how would this impact the game if it wasn't in the game?
You could, or you could just ask me and say,
Or
is
that- okay, gotcha.
Luke?
This is a question about idle. Is there a way to like rename a variable and have it rename all the same variable in the document?
Control H. Control H is find and replace. So if you're in your code, like here, so if you no longer wanted it to be bad timer, you hit Control H. Wait, don't hit Control. What'd I do?
Control Z is your friend.
Oh no, it's over here. Refined what? Bad timer. Replace with what's up. Replace all. Now what's up?
Just for every single game, the whole
Yep.
game.
Any instance of bad timer gets replaced with what's up.
Why did it replace that?
What?
Why did it not get replaced that?
Because I hit Control Z and went back
Oh,
one.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, no, I'm wicked fast, man. Okay, any other questions? Lorian. Oh, and then Brandon. Okay.
Would bad guys chasing you be another gameplay element?
Brandon.
So for the like the citations and stuff, so let's say we cite everything except for one site, I guess. Then do we, or one spot, and we forget to cite it. Then do we get like marked off 0, or do we get like the majority of the points?
I'm gonna say you'll get the majority of the points. Yes.
In coding, how do you like do a break in a line if the line's getting too long?
I'll answer that later. Cole.
For the originality thing that you're talking about,
Yeah.
you don't want the game to be too similar to this game.
Yeah.
Like, with that big question that I asked you, if I if I were to like take the game that we made, and like how different would I have made it for it to not be the same game? That's what I'm confused about.
As different as it needs it to be. Like if you're afraid to show me the comparisons between the two, then you haven't changed it enough. Like I knew someone who said artwork. I allow my students to be inspired by people's artwork online, but if they're afraid to show me the work that they were inspired by, they should probably do more work on their stuff. So if you were to come in and go, hey, I painted this and I was inspired by I don't want to show you what I was inspired by, then it's probably too close. So talk to me individually about what you're thinking of. Questions? Comments? Cole?
For like the games, for the artwork that the art department was gonna make,
Yeah?
do we have to use that to get the points? Or like what if we were, because like if I would want to use different characters or something.
So the way that'll work, the way I'm envisioning it is they give us all the artwork, I put it all in one location, and you guys can use whatever you want. So if you're like, yeah, I'm doing a Western, but I want an alien because I'm doing Cowboys versus Aliens because I saw that movie last week and absolutely loved it, and I want aliens in there, and Asher's doing sci-fi, well, you may take any artwork from that folder and use it in your game. You're trying to dodge a light. Is that coming from?
His Apple Watch.
Oh, your Apple.
Like right.
It was right in his face.
It was like right in behind.
Okay. Anything else? Lorian.
If you were to make a picture move such as the badgers moving their feet or whatever, would that be a function or would that be like?
Animated enemies I count as a gameplay element.
Oh, okay. Well, it wasn't gonna be an enemy because I was gonna have like butterflies surrounding this piece of a crown.
I would say, yeah.
Would that be a gameplay element?
Yeah.
I might have the creatures do that too. So.
Because that's not the easiest thing to do without it slowing down your computer. So yeah, I would count that. Anything else? All right. So I am going to. Oh, Lorian.
Sorry, one last question. If you're looking for artwork and you didn't think of it originally and nobody else has that, can you draw it yourself?
If you would like to, yeah. The only reason I'm not forcing you all to do that is because it can take time away from your coding, and we're not artists, we're coders. So I just didn't want, so yeah. Okay. Well, with that being said, I'm going to end this recording.